everybody, Diana here at Old Farm Gardens. So today is Monday, the 12th of May, and I'm actually out trying to finish up some of the work we started yesterday. It was a glorious weekend here. We could not have asked for a more beautiful weekend weather-wise. We worked out here all weekend long and had a great time at it. I'm already peeling on my arms because I got a little sun where my sunblock wore off. But this tree is a mulberry. It has been on our property since we moved here. It is about 30 years old, but it needs to come down. You can see it's been strapped in order to support this section here. This section is still firmly intact, but it could come down, and it's more of a when rather than an if. To take a tree down like this, we got estimates from several tree services about $3,500, which is a little more than we have available at the spur of the moment. So we're not going to be able to take it down till later in the summer, but it has to come down because it is a danger, not only to our property. If it comes down, it would hit our fence, and then it would also probably go into our next door neighbor's backyard pool. And of course we don't want any of that to happen, and we don't want anyone to possibly get hurt. So I'll show you what happened. The tree service, when they came out to look at this for us, we thought perhaps it got struck by lightning because our home was struck by lightning last year and killed all of our appliances, everything we've had to replace: refrigerator, oven, fan, microwave, washer, dryer. I mean, everything had to be replaced because it was all burned in the electrical zap from that lightning strike. Last summer, then, we also had a surge protector put on our electric box in the house, and it's already saved our house 2 more times. So that was money well spent. But we thought maybe this tree had gotten hit, but it isn't. And it doesn't, to me, look like it got hit. But what has happened is this mulberry probably never fully, they said, fused together. And over time, as it's grown and as this one branch has gotten really leggy and full in the canopy, it's started to grow apart. These 2 sections are pretty good, but this one is really pulling away and leaning it. So it has been strapped for now, just to give it a little bit of support if it starts to lean anymore. And yesterday you can kind of see where we took off some major branches on this side to reduce the weight, which is one way to reduce the stress on that trunk. And so I'll just scan over here. You can see that is about 500 pounds that we took off of that tree. I know it doesn't look like it because it looks like it's just the canopy stuff that we took down. Let me tell you, that is some heavy wood. I drug all of this up here, and it was way heavier than we thought it was going to be. And today I'm going to start breaking it down with my loppers. I'm going to take down all the small pieces and pile it up because when they do come to take the tree down, they're going to shred the whole canopy, the smaller branches and stuff for us, so I can use that as wood mulch here in the garden. And then we're going to keep the wood because we're going to cut it down and cure it over the next year to use for our outdoor fire pit, because mulberry can be burned in a fire pit with no problems. But it needs to cure for about a year. But you can see all of this that we took down. If that branch if that part of the tree had fallen, all of that would have ended up in our bedroom and in our neighbor's yard. So we didn't want that. There's still a little bit more that we can probably get down off of here, but we need to ask our neighbor's permission. He is a police officer, and I think he works at night, so he needs to sleep during the day right now, so we don't want to bother him. But as soon as we can get him, when he's up and about, we're going to ask him if we can come over in his yard to take down all of this, because as much of that weight that we can get down, the better. And the more of it that we can get down, they might lower their cost just a little bit. And then if you scan this way, we have 4 miniature pear trees. The other 3 are all big and beautiful and doing great. But this little guy has gotten tall and leggy, and he's not filled out, and he's also in one of those situations where a good stiff breeze will take it down at some point. You can see how tall it is. And So we will probably have this to come down as well. So we're probably looking at an additional $1,000 over the $3,500 that will take that tree down. It'll probably be another $1,000 to take that tree down safely, because these are all in the back. When this property was originally divided out here at the old farm, they put these trees right at the property line practically, which, although makes for a lovely look, it makes it very difficult to remove trees. So we're going to have to get all of this taken care of. But today I'm going to be trying to bring this down into some manageable sizes. And I will tell you, I'll switch around here and you can see yesterday we got the potatoes and all of the tomatoes out into their enclosure. So they spent their first full night outside the greenhouse. They did great. In fact, they all look like they perked up some. I think they're doing better now that they're out here. We put up an arch so that we could add the trellis vines on here for them to grow up. They're all ready. These look like I've done that, but really they have already started training themselves up that vine. These are indeterminate tomatoes. They are San Marzano and Chadwick cherries. What we did, because this is a really inexpensive little archway that I bought from Amazon, we drove 2 poles in on each side and sunk those about a foot into the ground. And so this is not going anywhere. It's safely into the ground. And the reason we did that is because we have so much wind here, it would have never stayed up on its own. And I just used a double cotton strand of cotton string, heavy duty cotton string, and doubled it and attached it with a single crochet at the top. And so they can kind of split out if they need to, or have one really strong trellis to wind their way up. And then over here I've got my 2 5-gallon buckets of potatoes. I only did 2 this year. It's the first time I've done potatoes, so I'm kind of curious as to what they'll do. One of them is a red Norland and one of them is a Yukon Gold. And then here are my 4 Roma tomatoes that look much better this morning. They were very droopy yesterday, but they're looking great this morning. I have a smaller trellis system for them since they are determinate. They're not going to get so huge that they need a big long trellis, but I will put a little more trellising in there for them. But that was part of what we did yesterday and on the weekend, plus just a whole lot more. Like I said, it was a beautiful weekend and we had a great time out here getting some stuff done in the garden. So until next time, everybody, if you have a wonky tree, get it checked out, because you don't want that coming down on your property or on your neighbor's property. And it's better to know in the beginning how much you're going to have to put aside to have that taken down, because having trees taken down is a bit of a considered purchase for sure, but something that has to be done. So until next time, everybody, take care of your trees, take care of the garden, have fun in the garden, and I'll see you next time.